All right, this is Liz. She's an ultramarathon runner. She is complaining of pain on her left Achilles and posterior medial ankle. She experiences this after the third mile of running. It is persistent until she rests for about an hour, and that's the only time it eases up. Upon observation, I noticed poor foot and ankle control, pes planus, and excessive pronation, lacking supination, both in gait and running. And then for tests and measures for MMT, she's 5 out of 5 knee and ankle strength, 3 out of 5 hip abductors, and experiencing pain after the 10th single leg plantar flexion heel raise. My thoughts for this is I'm going to assume that she's been screened and found no red flags for any neurological issues, etc., that I need to be aware of, so I can just focus on the location of pain in namely the Achilles region and the ankle. And it's all of that is most likely linked to poor control of the ankle and the foot that is causing the abnormal tracking of MSK structures at the ankle, including but not sort of limited to the gastrosoleus complex right there in the posterior calcaneal region, or any of the ankle joints, tracking of the ankle joints, so the subtalar, talocrural, transverse, tarsal, etc. So, in the beginning, what I'm going to be teaching her how to do are doming exercises so that we can strengthen up the bottom of that foot. I'll move on to a more dynamic exercise in the middle, where lateral band walks, where we'll be focusing on the abductor external rotators, the glute med essentially. And then we'll be focusing on a more dynamic sort of skipping with the band and lateral kind of shifting with the band as well. So for the first one, what we're going to focus on, Liz, is what we're going to be doing is we're going to be strengthening up the bottom of your foot, because right now your foot is getting really flat to the floor, and that's what's causing sort of that tracking issues with the back of your ankle, at least I suspect. And so what I want to do is strengthen up that foot so that we can get that natural dome back, especially when you're walking and running, so that you can push off with a little bit more strength and get and have those structures at least track a little bit better for you. Okay, so I'm going to change the camera angle to get down to her foot. Okay, so if we could, yeah, we'll do the left foot there. And so what you're going to do, and you can scoot a little bit forward so you can kind of like feel it and see it. Well, I meant in your chair, yeah. So I kind of want you to see, okay, see how your foot's really flat to the ground? We want to do is we want to pull this whole structure up, okay? So what it's going to feel like is that you're kind of scrunching everything together, but I don't want you to be flexing your toes necessarily, right? Like that. I want you to almost feel like you're pushing, like if my palm was the bottom of your foot, I want you to feel like you're pushing your foot up into the air. So go ahead, and it's almost like you're squeezing. Yeah, do you feel that?
Oh yeah.
Right there, okay. So you're going to pull up, hold for about a second, and then release. One more time. Hold for a second and release. Okay. And again, try not to curl your toe. Almost feel like you're pushing this part of your foot down into the ground, and that whole structure should come up. Great. Any questions there?
Nope.
Awesome. All right. We would do that for about 2 sets of 20. I really want her to get used to this sensation, because this is really going to be a cornerstone for all of our where we progress from here. They're almost like the chin tucks for cervical spine issues. I want her to be really familiar with this, because it's also going to contribute to different things like motor control later in the plan of care. Way I would progress this is I would either add more reps, or I would do it in standing, add weight to it in weight bearing. I might even have her do it seated with towel scrunches, where she's pulling sort of the towel towards her, gives her something tactile, gives her a task to do. The next thing that I would consider is the lateral band walks. She presented with the pes planus and the weak abductors. I would expect there to be some sort of knee valgus there, so I really want to kind of have her focus on pushing and abducting and externally rotating outwards. So what I'm going to have her do is, if you could, can I have you stand up, please? And I'm going to move this chair out of the way. And I will get the band that I forgot inside. We have to adapt. Think on our feet. I will create one with this. Bam. Cool. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this above your knee, like so, okay? And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to get in a nice athletic stance. If you can maybe copy me with that right now, kind of about the hips, shoulder width apart. Nice bend to the knee, okay? and we're going to really focus on pushing the knees outwards, okay? And the band's going to resist that. It's going to make you want to be here. I want you to push outwards. And since you're a pro at these doming exercises already, I really want you to focus on keeping that nice foot position with the doming, okay? So not kind of relying on flattening out the foot, but really pushing out, okay? So I'm going to have you step into this. Good. We're going to go around the knees like so, okay? And then I'm going to wrap this around so it doesn't get in your way. Okay, so nice athletic stance, okay? And so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you push out with your right leg first, and we're going to step out here, and I'm going to come back in. Good. Step out here and come back in. Very good. Keep going. Good. Right. So what'll usually happen too is that they'll lean and kind of step out like so, and they're not really using that abductor on the other side. So we're going to have them kind of stay nice and forward, okay? When they push out, it's almost like they're leading with this foot and sending that knee over to the wall, just like that. That's really good. And then not just sliding this foot back in, but picking it up and controlling it back in. Good. One more time. Push. Good. And then control that back in. Really good. Okay. Go ahead and step out of that. I would do 2 laps back and forth, so 1 lap will be back and forth. We'd do 2 laps with at least 10 steps involved with those. And the way we progress that is a bigger band or a more intense band, or could do different things like monster walks, where we're taking now that into a different plane, going forward, to the side, back, and then to the opposite side in a square. I would also maybe supplement that with like step downs. Just to me, it sounds like that knee is really lacking that motor control and really allowing that foot to get flat, so I'd want to track that in the mirror. Also might be working on the glute med, doing like a glute med series with hip abduction, this sort of twist, and then these butt kickers all side lying. Pay attention to the hip, make sure that it's in a good position, that it's pointing up toward the ceiling, and all that good stuff. The last exercise here is going to be focusing on explosive movements to challenge that that ankle and that foot in pronation and supination. So she's going to be skipping. I'm going to have this guy around her hip, and then we're also going to work in sort of a lateral motion as well. And I really am going to, well, you'll see. So I'm going to have you facing up that way. Well, look at me real quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this around your hip like so, okay? And I'm going to have you sort of skip, okay, back and forth to the wall, and we'll turn around and come back this way. But what I want you to focus on is really pushing off of that foot that we've been doming lately, right? For the last however long we've been doing this. You're going to be doming off that foot, pushing off of it, and then landing nice and softly. And so I want it to be a soft landing. With that, we're going to allow that foot to pronate again. So it's not that we want to avoid pronation ever, because that's really important. We just want to make sure that it's controlled, okay? And you know that because we've talked about that over the weeks that you've been coming to therapy. Yay! So what I'm going to do is put this around your hip. Try to look as flat as possible. And you can move that if it's uncomfortable at all, okay? But what I want you to do is skip out towards that wall in front of you. So, really explosive. Really explosive. Yes. Again. Go. Yes, you can. Come back towards me. Try towards me so we can get in the angle. All right, try it one more time. Go ahead. Skip. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You got this.
You have to come with me.
All right. Very good. So, that's very good. You did very well. I do need to come with you, so let's try that one more time, facing over there, okay? Different things that you can do to progress and challenge this, too, is either creating more tension or less tension while she's in the motion, having her guess and then accommodate to that, okay? So go ahead, skip forward. Good. All right, turn around and go back the other way. All right, really focus on pushing off of that strong foot and landing really quietly with the other foot. Yeah, good. All right. The other idea I had was kind of doing it sideways, so face the computer for me, please. And sort of doing that that lateral shift movement like we were doing, but doing a really good shuffle. So shuffle off. Sorry.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, it's my fault. So like kind of this movement over here, right?
Oh, okay.
So we're doing that lateral shuffle towards the wall. Stay nice low in that athletic stance. Yep, really good. All right, good. It might have been too much, but I think that she performed that skipping really well. I think she was landing softly. I think she was adjusting to the different tension that I was giving her. I would do that again for about 2 to 3 laps, going back and forth, and really challenging her to push through the band and adjust to the tension that I'm going to be giving her. let's see. That should be it. All right, thank you so much for watching.